Okay guys, today we're going to be talking about descriptive writing, and I think one thing that's really important to think about when we are writing descriptively is the difference between showing and telling when we write. So let's pretend that we're getting ready to write a letter. You're going to write a letter to your best friend. What do you think are some of the things that you might do differently if you're showing versus telling? So let's just pretend that you're going to write about what you did over summer break. So what do you guys think?
Probably more important to just give them as many details as I can.
Okay, so we're going to be more detailed if we're showing. Okay, what else do you guys think?
I don't know, some of the important stuff.
Tell the important stuff if you're showing or telling. Both, okay. I think one way to look at this is to think about with showing, like we might think about like the five senses. Like what kind of things, how would you describe it to your friends?
When you're showing them, I make it like give them a mental image so that
Okay.
they feel like they're there instead of just relaying more information.
Okay, that's good. So we want to give them images. So if you're telling, how would that be different from telling, do you think?
You just kind of tell them what you did, like you say I would do A, B, C, M instead of like what to.
Okay. Right, so maybe we could say that telling is just kind of more like fact-based, maybe? Instead of just images, we're giving them facts. Is there anything else you guys can think of?
If I'm showing, then sometimes I'm saying how I feel about what happened,
Okay.
and not just that it happened.
So you might be giving them some feelings. Anything else that you guys can think of? Okay. Well, I think it's really important to kind of think about the differences between the showing versus telling. The way I kind of like to think of it is with telling, if you think about, newspaper articles that you read, a lot of times it's just basic facts giving you what you need to know. And with showing, kind of what we talked about, is more details, more images. You kind of want to create a picture in the reader's mind. So when they read it, they can kind of see what you're talking about rather than just what you're saying. Okay. So I'm going to read you guys a couple of poems. These are Robert Frost poems. And as I'm reading them, just kind of think about some of the images that are formed in your mind. So the first one is called A Patch of Old Snow. There's a patch of old snow in the corner that I should have guessed was a blow-away paper the rain had brought to rust. It is speckled with grime. It's a small print overspread it. The news of the day I've forgotten if I ever read it. So what are some images there that you guys can see?
Grime.
Okay, but more specifically, what are some pictures that you are forming in your head? The snow, okay. And what did the snow look like?
Like a patch of sugar.
Okay, there's a patch of old snow in a corner that I should have guessed was a blow-away paper the rain had brought to rust. It is speckled with grime, as if small print overspread it. The news of the day I've forgotten if I ever read it. So what kind of images did you see there?
At first it kind of gives you like an image of like snow in a corner that hasn't melted yet. It kind of changes to like a crumpled newspaper or something that's just blown away and it's gotten rained on.
Right. I think that's really kind of a neat image, and if you look outside now, you can see it just with the dirty snow like up along the street. So I thought that was kind of a neat image. Another one is called Fireflies in the Garden. Here come real stars to fill the upper skies, and here on earth come emulating flies, that though they never equal stars in size, and they were never really stars at heart, achieve at times a very star-like start. Only only of course they can't sustain the part. So what kind of images did you guys see there? Anybody can answer.
Like stars.
Right, okay. Anything else? I kind of like the last two lines. Achieve at times a very star-like start, only of course they can't sustain the part. Because it kind of gives you that image of the fireflies like going on and off, but they're not like the stars that are like constantly shining. So I thought that was kind of a neat image. So poetry is kind of a good place to look if you need descriptive writing inspiration, because it typically has a lot of that imagery and a lot of the figurative language. All right, so I think the best way to get used to writing descriptively is to just practice it. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so we're going to start with a really basic sentence. Okay, so I was afraid to fly. It's just a really basic sentence. It's not really giving us a lot of information. So if we wanted to make this sentence to be more descriptive, one of the things we might want to do is just give the reader some more images. So I might say, okay. Okay. So with sweaty palms and my heart racing wildly, I boarded the plane. So that's giving us a little bit more information. It's giving us some images. We have sweaty palms, and then we have my heart racing wildly. So that's a good start, but we might want to give the reader some more information. So I might say, sorry guys, I know this is long. Okay. So, with sweaty palms and my heart racing wildly, I boarded the plane. I hadn't flown in over 10 years, but not because I didn't want to. I couldn't stop thinking about the day my father died and the fiery mass of metal falling from the sky that sent him to his grave. So again, we're just giving the reader some more information. We have some more images. A fiery mass of metal falling from the sky. So can you kind of see the difference between just telling versus showing?